Good morning, everybody. It's another day, day 2 of our value systems makeover. Day 2 of our value systems makeover. It's going to be great today. Today is the 2nd of December, and if you didn't listen to yesterday's training or seminar, please kindly go to my timeline. It is going to change your value systems and your perspective to life. Gratitude and thankfulness. That was what we taught yesterday, and we made a kind of a promise. I made a promise that I will be more grateful to people that have helped me. So just 2 minutes recap. Yesterday, we discussed on the value system of gratitude and thankfulness. And that all through 2018, you and I will be grateful to people who help us. Anyone who does anything good for you, you must be grateful. You must be thankful. There is no favor too small. There is no favor too big to be thankful for. See, I have been in a condition many years back in the UK when I was in the train. I was going somewhere, and I purchased a ticket, and but something happened to the ticket, and the train conductor came over to my seat and asked me, "Let me see your ticket." And I showed him my ticket, and he said, "Oh, no, this is not the ticket you should have bought. So you have to pay for a brand new ticket now." And I didn't have any money on me. That was many years in Europe. And the train conductor was about to throw me out of the train. And oh my God. And one white British woman spoke from behind me and said, "I will pay for him." And she paid £45. She didn't know me from anyone. I didn't know her from anywhere. She paid £45. And I kept that ticket for many years after that time, because anytime I remember that incident, there is no favor too small, there is no favor too big for you to be grateful and be thankful for. Husbands, you must appreciate your wife and be grateful. Wives, you must appreciate your husbands and be grateful. There are many, not every man comes home at 6 p.m. I'm speaking to Africans all over the world. Not every man comes home at 5 p.m. after work. There are many men that will finish work and they go somewhere and come home at 12 a.m. or whatever. And not every woman cooks for her husband. So if you have a wife that cooks for you and takes care of you, appreciate her. So value system of gratefulness and thanksgiving is a major thing that you will need to imbibe and to adopt all through 2017. Let me tell you something about thankfulness and gratefulness. Now, if you are a thankful person, thankfulness and gratefulness or gratitude kills covetousness and greed. So most greedy people are not thankful. They are not grateful. Nothing is ever enough for them. So they keep looking for how to get more, how to get more, how to get more, how to get more, how to get more. And then the unthankful nature of their system degenerates into covetousness and greed. And then covetousness and greed degenerate into corruption. So the reason why we have so many corrupt people, there are many corrupt white people too. But I'm speaking to Africans now. The reason why I have many corrupt Africans and black people all over the world is because so many of us are never grateful and thankful for the little we have. I said yesterday that you and I would have been born in Afghanistan. What would you have done? Did you have any input in the choice of the country you are going to be born? So I said to us that you and I could have been born in Syria. You and I could have been born in Libya. You and I could have been born in any country. But so for you to have been born in a country where there is peace has nothing to do with you. Be thankful. Yes, things are bad. Things are not going on fine. Your life today is the dream of millions of people. Your life today is the dream of millions of people. Many people that are stuck in Libya now, they want to be in your shoe. So things are not fine. You don't have job, you don't have money, you don't have children, you don't have husband, you don't have wife, but you are healthy. I went to visit, I was asked to come and pray for a young man in a Western hospital. I won't mention the city. About 6 months ago or thereabout. The young man was like a vegetable. Graduate of a world-class university He was like a vegetable. They were feeding him. He was under all kinds of gadgets. Now I lifted him. I tried to pray for him. They tied him onto a chair. Medical personnel will understand what's happening. I don't even know the name. It was if I was an imbecile. And he was not born that way. He just woke up one day, he was going to somewhere and he fell down and he was paralyzed. And they have done everything possible to understand what was wrong with it. They couldn't know. They don't know. You could have been in that situation. I could have been there. So be thankful. Though you don't have a job, but you have a brain to think about a job. What if there is no brain? So thankfulness cuts across every sphere. I'm not speaking to religious people to this morning alone. I'm speaking to everybody. Be thankful to your parents. Whether your parents are poor, send text to people. People send text to you, reply them back and say thank you. Someone has done something good for you. This is value. It adds value to you. Go and listen to yesterday's broadcast. It's going to bless and change your perspective and make you a better person in 2018. Now today, what we are dealing with, very briefly, is the value of going for appointment and going to work on time. You must go for appointment and go to work on time. Please kindly help me share this link on your timeline. Please just press the share button. I want as many people as possible to be part of this. Going late to work must be stopped in your life in 2018. Now I'm speaking to myself as well. Going late. Lateness is not permitted in the life of successful and great people. If you know people that are great and successful in any part of the world, go and ask them what they do to the appointment. That's why many big people, many rich people have secretaries, personal assistants that help them organize their diary and their schedule. Going late to appointment and going late to work has enormous consequences on your life and on the life of, on your nation at large. Many of us don't know the consequences of being late. Going to places late. Now, some years back, about 12 years ago, I wanted to do a job for an Israeli engineer, a civil engineering company in South Africa. So the MD of the company was a friend to the MD of a bank in Nigeria. So the MD of the bank in Nigeria called me and said he had spoken to his friend who was an Israeli. He owned a very big civil engineering company in Johannesburg, South Africa. So the MD in Nigeria called me, the MD of that bank, that he had already spoken to his friend who was the MD of the civil engineering company, that I should go and meet him. So I had to go from Pretoria, South Africa to Johannesburg, about 1 hour drive on the Pretoria-Johannesburg Expressway. Beautiful, lovely road. But I had a problem with my transportation and I was running late. Now what should I have done when I was running late? I should have called the man. I should have told him or called the secretary and told the secretary I will be late. But I just assumed that, well, the lateness was beyond my control. So I got to that appointment about 1 hour late. There was traffic on the highway. Everywhere was messed up. So I got to that appointment late. I sat in the lobby. I sat waiting. When that man saw me, he tore me apart. That was the day I knew that Israelis, Jews, don't play with their time. That is where their country is one of the best in the world. They don't play with their time. 1 minute matters to a Jew. The man tore me apart. He said, I don't do business with people like you. If you see the way he was speaking to me, he said, I was trying to explain, said, no excuse is permitted. No explanation is permitted. You had an appointment for 9 a.m., you are coming here by 10 a.m. From that day, I made it a point of duty. Now, the people that know me closely, they know I don't play with time. I don't play with time. If you give me an appointment for 10, it is only if circumstances are beyond my control. And I will let you know. And I will apologize for it. Now, it took me many years to adopt that value. I'm not saying I'm perfect, that I don't make mistakes sometimes. But ultimately, more than 95% of my personality is time conscious. I'm extremely time conscious. Extremely time conscious. You cannot afford to be late. Now, when I was in South Africa some years back, about 12 years ago, one of my friends had a problem with a professor. Now, the professor asked them to submit an assignment by 6 p.m. Now, the submission was not done manually. You have to go to a portal, online portal, and upload your assignment. It was a postgraduate academic exercise, engineering exercise. So, my friend brought to South Africa is Nigerian mindset. And the lecturers in that university were all white people. I mean, if you have been to South Africa, you know South Africa, they have predominantly white people in the academic industry and in their finance. There are black people doing great things too as well, but before the redistribution of those roles through the black empowerment policies and stuff like that came over the years as a result of the emancipation of the South African right, majority of those roles were held by white people. So white professors supervise students, white professors lecture. I studied in South Africa for some courses some years back. All my lecturers were white, British, French, German. They brought the values of accurate timekeeping. They brought it into the fore of what they were doing. So my friend was enrolled in a production engineering program, and he had a very difficult assignment to do. Very difficult assignment. So he finished the assignment and uploaded the assignment about 5 minutes. 5 minutes. 6:05. The time given to him was 6. And you don't submit assignment manually. I mean, you have to go online. The professor had gone there behind him and closed the website. He closed the portal exactly on the dot of 6. He expected you to have submitted at 4. So you don't wait until the 6 o'clock and you submit. My friend went to submit, he couldn't submit. My friend went to the professor. He begged and begged and begged and apologized. That was his last semester. Everybody that knew my friend went with him to beg the man. The man said, no, we are not just training you to come out with an academic paper, but we are building values of accurate timekeeping into you. My friend had an extra semester because of 5 minutes lateness in submitting an assignment. My friend was cursing. He was screaming. He went AWA. He went busy. I will sue the man. I will take them to court. We advised him. You better go and enroll. You cannot sue them. This is their country. And they have rules and regulations. From that day, my friend spent extra 4 months. He had to re-register, pay thousands of their currency as school fees because he submitted one assignment late for 5 minutes. So all of these experiences I've had them over the years, and I said, it is an expensive thing, an expensive value system to play with. You must develop the attitude and value of being on time. Doing things on time. Being late comes with a lot of consequences. And I'm going to enumerate these consequences here today. If you go to your workplace late, your productivity level will be reduced. Productivity is a measure of how many hours you put to work relative to what comes out of the work. So input versus output. Productivity is measured by input, the ratio of your input to your output. So if you put 2 hours to work and someone else put 10 hours to work, normally the person that puts in more hours is more productive. Even though I understand that somebody can work for 1 hour and do excellent work within 1 hour. But on paper, productivity is a measure of the number of hours you put to work. So if you are going to work late, you are robbing your company and yourself of your own productivity. And I have studied productivity as an engineer. Productivity is connected to profitability, to money. So if you are employed for 8 hours and you come to work and spend 6 hours, the extra 2 hours, we can do some calculation and calculate some things, and you can discover that your company is losing thousands or millions collectively from all employees that go late. Now, I am an HR person as well. I'm an HR expert. I know what it is to design, develop reward systems, motivation packages for clients, for employees. I've done a lot of research on that. Employees that go to work on time and leave work on time at the right time, there is an assessment, a performance appraisal system that many companies use. And some of the variables, some of the components of that system, of that performance appraiser, is your frequency and timeliness at work. And I have done a lot of research. The most productive countries in the world, there are 35 of them. There is no single African country among. Not because we are not brilliant. Africans are brilliant. Go to sport, Africans are there. Entertainment, Africans are there. Engineering, Africans are there. There are thousands of Nigerian doctors and Ghanaian doctors in the US. Africans are brilliant people. But one of our major problems is our value system. Value system. So, throughout 2017, have you ever gone late to anywhere? I have not been perfect myself, but I have done very well. Although I have not been perfect. Maybe out of 100 appointments, I missed like 5. I was late for like 5 or 6 or 7. But I know that the vast majority of them. So the few areas where I have problem myself, I want to work on it. I don't want it to be repeated in 2018. If lateness is such an important issue, what are the consequences for you personally? For you personally. Now, let me tell you something here. If you regularly go late to work, you dampen the morale of other people working in that office. When they see you, you walk to your office at a later time than scheduled. Every other person is busy on the computer working and you're coming in late. It affects their morale. Their morale will be twisted and skewed towards doing what you are doing. So you're going to be a very bad role model for others. Now, lateness has everything to do with work when we are talking about productivity of a nation. But I'm even speaking of coming late, going late to other places. There are many people, they are perpetual late comers. They always come late, go late to places. In fact, there are some people, many Africans, not most Africans, many Africans like to go late to places when people are already settled there. So that when they come in, everybody sees that they are coming in. It's a bad value system. It adds no respect or regard to you or to myself. Going late to places to draw attention is a bad value system. It's a bad value system. If the time is 10 a.m., you don't go there at 10:30 when others have sat down. Because you want them to turn their neck and look at you the way you are dressed. Many people, many of us do so many funny things. Sometimes you see people, they go and get the best kind of dresses, clothes, and they wear all kinds of flashy things. They won't go into a program when others are going in there. They go there when others have sat down. So that when they are coming in, they can attract attention. I'm speaking to Christians. I'm speaking to non-Christians this morning. So I'm trying not to embellish what I'm saying totally with scriptures. But I'm a person of faith. I'm a pastor. I know so many scriptures in the Bible that speak against going to places late. That speaks against going to places late. In fact, the Bible says when you are invited to a place, you don't go there and sit in a place of prominence. Everybody will be able to see you. The big man has come. You go and sit in a lowly place. Because if you sit in a place of prominence and a more bigger person than you comes, the master of the ceremony can come to you and ask you to change your seat. And that will bring you more shame and disgrace than you sitting in a lowly place and the owner, the master of the occasion comes and relocates you to another place. If you are a business owner, now one of the problems I've had, I live in a Western country. One of the problems I've had with many of my African friends is that they open their stores, their business centers late. You go to a white shop, they open at 8:30, they put the time on their door, 8:30 to 5 p.m. They are there by 8:30 a.m. Now you go to an African store or shop, and they are not there by 11 a.m. And you have to be calling them. Yesterday I went to a particular African store, I had to be calling the owner of the store. When are you going to open your store? I said, what is happening here? So if someone else comes over and opens another store, similar to that man's store, selling the same thing, and then your business profit begins to dwindle, and then Africans will say, oh, there is a spirit following me. There is a demon following me. There is a spirit following me. The man opens his store at 11 a.m. in the morning. Can you imagine opening a business at 11 a.m. in the morning? Most people going to work in the morning, they want to branch and pick up something in that store. Once they drive in front of the store, they see nobody there, they go away. So customers can be dissatisfied. And if one customer is satisfied, it can bring into your business 1 million customers. Do you know the logo of Amazon? They want one customer at least to be satisfied. Amazon's drive, everything Amazon is doing online is to at least satisfy one customer. Because according to Amazon, one customer can bring in millions of others. And so as Africans, our value system in terms of keeping time, as we go into 2018 must be corrected and adjusted. You cannot go into 2018 as the same person. You cannot walk into business meetings casually. If you did it in 2017, you've got to change. If you always go late to work, you create resentments among employees. People begin to grudge and begrudge you. You begin to pull yourself down. Your credibility and your integrity suffer. It comes with so many factors. So many consequences. So my role this morning, this afternoon, is to inspire you not to treat this subject matter with levity. Going to places on time at the right time comes with many benefits. It comes with many benefits. And so if your employer has employed you to resume work at 9 a.m., you must make sure all through 2018, you don't go there at 9:01 a.m. You don't go there at 9:01 a.m. Except, I'm picking these words now, except some circumstances beyond your human control. There is a criminal situation in town. God forbid there is an accident somewhere. All the roads are closed. Obviously, your bosses at work will understand that this is not within your control. But within your control, make sure that you stem the tide of lateness in 2018. It has a lot of other spiritual consequences. I don't want to go to spiritual now. Going late to places. Some people will go late to their wedding. I've heard of cases of people who went late to their wedding, men or women. Something somewhere will make them to go late because they have been going late. If you are a Christian, have you studied or at any point in time thought about why Esau and Jacob had serious crisis? What do you think was responsible for the plight of Esau? Esau lost the blessing. Do you think that Jacob was supposed to get a blessing? It was supposed to be Esau. But Esau came late. For whatever reason. Now let me tell you some of the reasons why people go late. I have like less than 10 minutes to stop this seminar. One of the reasons why people go, when you make promises you cannot keep. Stop impressing people to depress yourself. Great people are people that speak truth. If you cannot make 10 a.m., tell them I cannot make 10 a.m. Now don't give promises that you cannot keep. You will not be able to keep that promise, and it obviously comes back to you and damages your integrity. Don't make promises you cannot keep because you want to impress people. Great and successful people don't impress people to depress themselves. Great and successful people don't impress others to oppress themselves. You must not impress people at the detriment of your own credibility. You must not impress people at the expense of your own integrity. You mustn't sacrifice integrity on the altar of impressing people. You mustn't sacrifice credibility on the altar of impressing people. Now, if for any reason you are going late to a place and you have given your word, pick your phone and contact the person. I'm running late. I learned that thing from the British. Now, I lived in Britain for many years. I learned that from the British. Call me and let me know the principles of feedback. If you have studied communications before, there is something called feedback systems. Feedback. One of our problems as Africans because we don't give feedback. Feedback. Do you know why we have the air? If you pick a phone now, there is a section where you hear what people are speaking to you. There is a section in the phone where your own voice, it has to go through. 2 unit section. Why did the white people or the manufacturer of a phone, why did they put 2 sections on the phone? The place where you will speak, when you are speaking, your mouth will go there. When you are speaking, you can air the other party. It's a feedback system. Can you pick your phone and be calling and be speaking to people? After 10 seconds, you say, hello, are you there? Hello, are you there? Because you don't get any feedback. You are not getting any feedback. So I want you to do a retrospective analysis of your life all through 2017. Why don't you imbibe and adopt the value of going to places on time? It is not an African disease. No, there are many Africans that go to places on time. There are millions of Africans that are good, godly, nice people. They go to places on time. But there are so many people that do not respect time. They don't respect time. No, I've had to fire so many people I work with. I employed some people to work for me on freelance consultancy basis back in Africa. I got 500 applications and I shortlisted to 10. Out of the 10 people, I have fired like 7 of them. Why? One of the major problems I have had with people that I work with in Africa, because I'm an African too, they don't keep time. Now, this document, you must submit it on Monday by 10 a.m. The client wants this document to be submitted by 10 a.m. I will wait to receive that document in my email by 10 a.m. It will not come. 11 a.m. It will not come. 12 p.m. It will not come. And then I will send an email back to the person. He starts giving me excuse. Actually, I wanted to tell you that I won't be able to make it. You wanted to tell me. But you had like a whole week to yourself to tell me. They have no value for timing at all. Show me any great man you know. Mention them. Bill Gates, Warren Buffett, every man that is great on earth that you know. They sleep the lowest number of hours. They keep to appointments. They keep to time. If anything happens outside of the ordinary that will make them not to keep to time, they will create a feedback system. Send a WhatsApp. Now we live in a generation where we have WhatsApp, we have Instagram, we have Facebook, we have Twitter, we have all kinds of things. There is no excuse for lateness. I tell people that work for me, I don't want to air it. There is no excuse for lateness. If I go late somewhere myself, I don't give excuse. I apologize. Do you know how dangerous going to places late is? I lost a major contract a couple of years back because I went late for an interview. I lost a major contract. Not in Naira now or in FIFA, in dollars. A major contract because I went late to a place. It was beyond my ability. The distance from where I was to the appointment was like 30 minutes. I left the place, I left my house 2 hours before the appointment. I gave enough time because when I'm going for an appointment, I triple the time. I'll just sit down somewhere, I'm reading magazine. I don't want to be caught late at all. The experience I had with the Jew, that Jewish civil engineer in South Africa, that experience still haunts me. You don't give excuse for lateness. Lateness is not in the dictionary of successful people. Lateness is not in the diary and schedule of great people. Only weak people give excuses for lateness. And so, 2 hours before the appointment, but the driving distance from my house to that place was 30 minutes. So I gave myself 2 hours. I got on the highway and there was one terrible accident. Something happened. And everywhere was blocked. What would I do? And then I remember my value. Oh, you have to call them and tell them you're running late. When I was stuck in that heavy traffic, I called someone, the agency that linked me up with that company for the contract. Please help me call, because I didn't have the number of the company. So I called the agency and I told their head, help me contact the company that there is a crisis on the road. I'm stuck. And the man told me, yes, we're going to tell them. We're going to tell them. So I was running late. The appointment was 9 a.m. in the morning. I got there around 10 a.m., 10:30 a.m. Very late. But I walked in there confidently. Of course, I had already called the company, the agency, to call them that I was running late. So I was expecting them to shake my hands and pat me on the back and laugh at me. When I got there, I saw the person that will interview me standing on the staircase, folding her hands. She was a lady. Her face was squeezed. I said, what's happening here? And she said, you don't want to tell me you are coming to see me. I said, of course I'm coming to see you. She said, you are coming at 10:30 for an appointment of 9 o'clock? I said, no, but I actually called the agency to speak to you. He said, no agency called me. I said, Jesus Christ. No agency called you? I felt like the ground should open up and swallow me. An appointment of 9 o'clock, I was there at 10:30 a.m. I felt like the ground should open up and swallow me. She looked at me like this. He said, we have not even given you the contract. You are coming late. How am I sure that you will deliver our contract? That was the end of it. That was the end of it. For days. For days. I'm a pastor, so I hid that emotion from the church. Nobody knew it. I just told my wife and one other person. But In my work, in my room, my office, I will be groaning in my heart. How could I go to an appointment at 10 a.m. that was supposed to be for 9 a.m.? I lost a major contract. Many of us have lost many major things because of the value, the negative, poor value system of lateness. We call it tardiness. Tardiness in industrial engineering. Being tardy. It's an attitude. It's inborn. Some people are so tardy that they will be tardy on the day of their wedding. They will be late. And they think it's an African thing. It's not an African thing. There are many brilliant, wonderful Africans that don't go late to places. So this has nothing to do with your work. Even if you are doing your own personal business, it is the way you do your business, you will do other people's business. Some people will go late to the airport. I had an experience in England in February. So I went to England in February, and I went to a city. And when we were leaving that city back to the train station, because the only connection between that city and the next city was a train. And so I told my wife, I said, we must leave at least 1 hour before the trip, because the distance is like 30 minutes. But I always double the time. Anywhere I have an appointment, I double the time at least, or triple it. So my wife said, no, that since like about 25 minutes, we could give like 40 minutes. I said, okay. We just hit the road and we enter into a major traffic. And oh my goodness, we got to the train station 2 minutes before the train will leave. If you have lived in Britain before, if you are going to take a bus or a train, you are there 1 second after the time the train moves off. The bus moves off. One day my wife, many years back, my wife was pregnant. And it was a very, very horrible cold period in England. So she got to the bus stop about 2 minutes or 1 minute late. And he saw the bus. The bus driver was looking at her like this. And he just zoomed off. My wife was mad. I said, you're dealing with British people. The British people taught us the concept of per hour. Paying people per hour. Paying wages per hour. They are so productive, so organized. So I was speaking to a British man in South Africa some years back, and he said Britain is almost near perfection. If you are familiar with Britain, 1 minute lateness, you will miss your train. You will miss people that have gone to Britain know what I'm talking about. 1 minute of lateness, you will miss your train. You will miss your bus. They are so organized and precise. They do, and in most Western countries, it's like that. If you go to any post office in England or Scotland or the UK and you want to post a letter, they will tell you the letter will get to that place by 1 p.m. the following day, and you pay for it. We call it first class. 1 p.m. Before 1 p.m. your letter hits your door. So they transfer that efficiency into other aspects of their society. That it looks so small, so little, but that thing permeates all the fabric of their society. So if you are going to work late, it will permeate every area of your life. The day of your wedding, you will go late. It's not spiritual, it's not demon now. It's value system. So you deliberately force yourself to go to places early. You sit down there. One of the principles of one of the courses, the teaching, the trainings that HR professionals give people when they're going for interview, you don't go for interviews late. And then you don't go there too early. Now they told me you go there. I'm an HR expert too. But one HR guy told me, he said, don't go there like 1 hour before the time. You will appear too desperate. But don't go there late too. Go there like 15 minutes before the time. So that you look professional. You're not desperate. If you don't get the job, you don't get it. I mean, your life goes on. If you get it, beautiful. When do we want to transfer all of these values into our system, into our nation? Going late to places ruins your reputation. It ruins your reputation. There is a list of 35 most productive countries in the world. No African nation is there. More than 80% of those nations are European nations. 35 most productive. How did they measure productivity? The number of hours people put in their job. So if you are supposed to work for 10 hours and you work for 7 hours because of lateness, it affects your productivity personally. It affects the productivity of your company. It affects the productivity of your nation. So your lateness to work is damaging the economy of your nation. Your lateness to work is damaging the economy of your nation. It looks infinitesimally small, but 30 minutes from you, 10 minutes from me, 5 minutes from her, 2 minutes, and then collected together adds up to a big mass of time lost. Now, I did something called time engineering. We call it time study, time engineering. Now, it's a concept that the Greek used to design the world clock. So we measure productivity by seconds, by minutes. So when you want to pay people, you pay them $100 an hour. So if you work for 8 hours, that's $800. Now, you now calculate is the ratio of his input to his output. Now, if he is paid $800 and he produces a particular work that is of inferior quality, then we begin to look at where the mistakes are coming from. And then we bring in the concept of quality control. Oh, he always comes to work late on Mondays. So instead of working for 10 hours, he works for 8 hours on Monday. And we look for how to solve that problem. How to solve that problem. Lateness to work can ruin the economy of a nation. There are many things that ruin the economy of a nation. But you will not know what lateness does. You don't know what it does. It affects the psyche and the morale of every other person working with you. If you are a latecomer, if you are a perpetual latecomer, you are a virus in the system of any organization. You are a virus. If you are a virus in your computer, the computer may still work, but the computer will be struggling to work. You want to click Ctrl S to save your document, it will go into Ctrl V to paste. Because it's a virus. It's a virus. It's a virus. So I want us to determine from you have the power. You don't have to be a Christian. If you are going to fly a plane and the flight is 5 p.m., do you see people who are not Christians going there late? Being late has nothing to do with the Bible. It is purely sound moral values. Being late has nothing to do with being a Christian or a Muslim or a Buddhist or whatever. Pure moral values of any society is to do things on time. It is called efficiency. And it will permeate every aspect of your life. You will see that you are timely at work. You are timely at home. You want to pray at 5 a.m., you are timely. You want to drop your kids at school, you are timely. That value system, one thing about value system is this, it doesn't just stop there. Once you have enlarged your mind, you will be able to translate that value to other areas of your life. It's like putting a tip of poison in a tank of water. It will not just affect one portion of the water, but every part of the water will be poisoned. That is something about value system, and it comes from the mind. Whether you are a Muslim or a Christian, going to let us consequences. Let me tell you this story, and I end. In 2015, I needed to go to the US for an appointment. And so, I give myself like 1 hour for checking in and all the immigration stuffs. But I called the airline a day after and they said, because my flight was like 6 a.m. in the morning. You could be there like 30 minutes. The traffic wouldn't have grown. So even though they told me I should be there by 30 minutes, I got to the airport 1 hour before the flight. And oh my goodness, it was like the whole nation was at the airport. I said, what is happening here at 6 a.m. in the morning? See, these white people, they don't have any problem with it. If their flight is 4 a.m., they are there on time. Everybody was there suited. And I joined the queue. They checked my bag. They checked everything. They checked my passport. When I got to the queue that was to take me directly into the waiting area, hundreds of people. I checked my time. My plane was boarding. 20 minutes. I said, what is this, God? The ticket cost me a lot of money. And they will cancel the ticket. They won't refund the money. And so I was rushing. I was speaking to people behind me. Please, my flight is 6 a.m. Can I stay in front of you? Some of them declined. Some said yes. I had never done that in my life. Going to a queue and begging people. Please, can I come in front of you? I had never done it in my life. Not even doing it to a white person. I look foolish. Because they expect you to behave. Your flight is 6 a.m. You should be here by 4 a.m. I was checking my time. My flight was 10 minutes to boarding. Oh my God. The queue was still long. I was moving. Then I got to a spot. Nobody wanted me to come and stand in front of them. And then I struggled. When it was like 2-3 minutes, it was my turn and they stamped my passport. And I started to run. I carried my bag. I was running. The lobby, the distance between where I was to where the plane was, I was running. I was running. I was running. I just saw a door. I got to the main entrance to the passage that leads into the plane. The desk where the airline ticketing is done. They check your ticket. Nobody was there. So I saw a door. I just pushed the door. I was running. I was running. I was running. As soon as I pushed the door, I did not know that that door was operating with an alarm system. That door had triggered an alarm in the airport, and the whole airport, the alarm was beaming. It was beaming. It was beaming. It was beaming. So they thought it was an attack that was going to happen. Now this is the US where terrorism is thriving, and people are. I did not know they were watching me in the camera, and they had already called different police people. They were running. Who is that black man? I was now running. Now the consequences of being late. I was now running. I was running. The people in the plane too are watching me. They were watching me. And so one of the people in the plane ran out because they thought this guy was coming. I was carrying a bag. Maybe he was carrying a bomb. Everyone was running. I was running. I was running. My plane was 1 minute. I just ran, negotiated the bend to the plane. One of the plane officials stood in front of me. I said, what's happening here? And I showed him my ticket and my passport. I have to go. I was breathing heavily. My flight is now. I missed my flight. And the man said, you can't enter this plane. I said, why? He said, no, you came late. I said, I didn't come late. I didn't come late. The guy said, you cannot enter this plane. Before I knew what was happening, the police people had been involved. Now they came outside and they came to lead me out. And they checked me. Said, I'm not carrying any bomb. They were scared. And they now went to deactivate the alarm. So the man in charge now called me. He said, the door that you opened, that door is a very sensitive door. So it triggered the alarm in the airport. And so everybody was running helter-skelter. The consequences of being late, they cancelled that ticket that day. And to God be the glory, this is the beautiful part of it, which may not happen all of the time. The guy said, I'm going to help you. I'm going to help you. There is another flight for 8 a.m. I will reschedule you into that flight. So I sat down in the airport lobby for another 2 hours. I was still breathing heavily. I didn't know I'd already caused, they already ran my picture on the camera. No, these American people, they already ran it. They ran everything. Who is this man? They scanned everything. And I was carrying a very heavy bag in my hand, so I could have been bringing a bomb or something. Because I went late to the airport. Because I went late. Lateness has nothing of value to add to anybody. It diminishes your brand. It debrands you. When you go late to places to show your clothes and show your shoes, and you want people to see that you are gorgeously dressed, in their mind you are debranded. You may think they are celebrating you because many people go late to places because they want to show off their beautiful shoes, their nice wrist watches. No, if you are a great man and you want to remain great, you do not negotiate your credibility on the platform of showing off your clothes, showing off your dresses. If a program starts by 7, you must be there by 7. You don't wait for people to sit down and then you are walking in. It is even pride. It is even pride. So as we are going into 2018, if you have ever gone anywhere late, I am calling on 9,999 Africans to join me to make a commitment never to go late to work or to any appointment. It adds value to you. You become a credible personality. You become a man of integrity. People respect you more. Your word becomes your bond. Your word becomes your law. They will say, he has given you 7 p.m. You'll be there at 7 p.m. Don't worry. Just go and sleep. You become a person of dignity in society. And then people will learn from you. You become a positive role model. Your entire value system will be growing, will be improving. And it's going to affect you, affect your family. If you're a married person, your wife will contact that disease. My husband doesn't go to places late. I must be there early. Your children will sit up. Everybody around you will be contacted. This man doesn't go to places late. Or my wife don't go to places late. Some people will go to their place of work early. They will go to church late. It does not mean. If you are a person of integrity and you don't like going to places late, whether it is church or post office or event or birthday or wedding or work or airport, you will always be there on time. There is value in going to places on time. It affects the economy of a nation. It affects the productivity of a company. It affects the profitability of your business. Maybe why your company is not paying you a lot of money is because they're not making a lot of profits. And you are contributing to the dampening of their profits because you go to work late. If you are a Christian, you are listening to me, you must not be found or caught with going to work late. It ruins the value of Christ. Jesus was the highest comer of all time. Everything was done on time, on time, on time, on time. I'm so happy that you have listened to this seminar today. This is day 2 of our value system makeover for 2018. We want to become better Africans. Enough of the mockery. Enough of the mockery from our Western friends. Oh, he's an African man. Oh, they will always come late. Don't mind them. They will always come late. I want us to prove them wrong. Let's go to our workplaces on time all through 2018. And let's start now. Let's start now. And if you are running late to places, create a feedback system in your life. Make sure you have the phone number of your boss. Call someone to go and tell your boss. And don't behave like me. I call someone to call somebody. That person didn't call that person. So have the numbers of multiple people. Call 1, 2, 3 people and make sure at least 3 people have been told that I'm running late. There's an accident or my son falls sick or something happening. And so when you get to your place of work, they respect you more. Oh, he has told me he's going to come late. And you're not doing that every day. You don't call people every day. Help me tell my boss I'll be late. On Tuesday, help me tell my boss I'll be late. On Wednesday, help me tell my boss I'll be late. On the 4th day, they will tell you, don't tell me anything again. You're a perpetual latecomer. It is in your blood. So I'm going to bring this seminar to a close. Tomorrow is going to be great as we examine one very critical value that you must adopt in 2018. We have looked at the value of gratitude and thanksgiving. Today we looked at the value of being on time. No lateness to work or to any appointment in 2018. Thank you very much. If you've got questions, I'm going to find time to answer questions during the program. I just don't normally like to be distracted when I'm speaking, but obviously I'm going to create a kind of an opportunity so that we can discuss, and if there's anything I can learn from you. Some of you are HR experts. Some of you know what I'm talking about. You have done it. Maybe there's something I need to know more, and then you can just type it or send me a link. Via my messenger. I'll be grateful. I'll be grateful. Thank you so much. Have a great Saturday. See you tomorrow, 1 p.m. New York and Toronto time, 7 p.m. UK and West African time. Thank you very much. See you tomorrow. Have a great day.